Hi, welcome to Portage County Matters. I'm Patty Dreier, Portage County Executive. Welcome to the show. Today our guest is Al Hawker. He's the director of our information technology system in Portage County government, and it's a really interesting job. We're going to have a very interesting show talking through some of those kinds of things and where our visions for the future are related to IT. But before we get to that, to computers and databases and so on and so forth, what I'd like to do is to provide a few news highlights. One of them is related to strategic planning. I have this really big binder on my lap here, and I wanted to make sure that you got a sense about this binder, because this is the work that we've done so far on strategic planning in Portage County government in the last year and a half or so. What we've done with all departments is that we ask them to clarify what their mandates are, what the statutory references are. They inventory their existing plans and studies, anything that's been studied over the recent past that has a research study on the shelf. You know, we wanted to know that those plans all exist and which ones are relevant to us in making decisions today. And the departments each conducted a SWOT analysis. Some of you may have heard about that. It's an SWOT acronym standing for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So the departments had conducted a SWOT analysis and identified their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and then also documented that in their plans to date. And we've analyzed, at least at a high level, how well the physical space needs are met for that department. And we have about 35 departments in Portage County government, from highway to health and human services to solid waste to child support and everything in between. So there's a lot of work that had to be done so far. But the bottom line in all of this is that 2013, when this show airs, is going to take our strategic planning effort in Portage County government to a new height. This strategic planning effort that we roll out this year will build on the work that these directors have already done in those 35 departments. We're going to be contracting with a firm called Reinvention, and we're going to be assisted in moving through these next stages. On January 18th, all of the county board members and all of our department heads will come together for a joint meeting, probably the first of its kind in our county's history, I'm going to guess. And they'll spend a whole day facilitated in strategic planning by the Reinvention organization and Walter Jankowski, who's going to help us identify various strategic issues and reach a consensus around that. Walter will have taken 2 different surveys that will have been conducted through the county board as well as through each of the departments, and then combined all of that information, and he will have brought that forward in a nutshell to the group. We're going to validate our mission statement and our mission of Portage County government. We're going to develop a vision. We don't even have a vision statement for Portage County government right now, and I'm looking forward to us solidifying our vision statement and really knowing where we're going as a county government. In addition, we're going to develop some action plans around top strategic issues. And after this session is completed, it doesn't mean that we are even close to having a final plan yet, for we hadn't at that point included all the other input that is needed and is really important from our community at large. And so there will be some other ways that I'll be out and about in your neighborhood and in your various organizations and municipalities around the county, sharing that information in a number of different ways and means, so that we can continue to refine that plan and then know that we've got that compass to help us move forward in a direction that our community wants to go. This isn't my community as county executive, this is your community. This is our community together. And that's the kind of approach that I'm taking with these next levels of strategic planning. The other thing that the strategic plan is going to help us with is we're going to be able to make wiser decisions. In our budget for 2013, we've included the cost. It's around $10,000 to assist us in moving through this next set of stages in strategic planning. But it also includes a larger project that will involve our Space and Properties Committee, in particular in Portage County government, to help us develop a physical space plan, a short-term and longer-term plan for our physical space, our buildings and our grounds and so on and so forth, that are our facilities, you know, that house county government operations. And so it's a big deal to put that one together too, but we very, very much need that longer term plan so that we knew how to make more decisions more wisely here on an everyday basis, and so that we didn't say, for example, invest in improving and renovating a certain facility if perhaps that facility may not be the one that is going to be in our future 20 years from now. So we have lots of decisions to make, but again, a really big deal. And if you want to just use that as a theme in guiding us through the county for the year, the bottom line is you're going to hear it over and over and over again through the year: strategic planning, strategic planning, strategic planning. So anyway, probably by the middle of the year, we're going to have a real good sense about these plans, and we'll never stop the planning process. It needs to continue always and be refined as we learn more information, as we move through the days and identify what other kinds of issues we need to respond to in our community. But it gives us a real roadmap and a direction in which all of us can row. So anyway, look forward to that like I am, all right? Now, a couple other bits of news, and then we'll get to our guest today. No sooner were we finished with the 2013 budget when the finance staff, under the direction of Finance Director Jennifer Josie, came to me and said, we have some suggestions about how to continue to improve our budget preparation and planning process and timeline. And so we're working really hard right now in refining that timeline. We're gathering input from all the directors right now, and then we will be presenting that revision to our finance committee and sharing it with the county board. So there's, I love it. I really love it when staff members take a situation, they're working through it now, but they're already evaluating how we can do it better next time. And that's really the theme of the day for how we're going about our business in county government. And I think this is a great demonstration of that. So anyway, budget timeline being scooted a little earlier in the year. We're refining that process, and what that's going to allow us to do later in the year, when the budget is final, is to be, or near to final, and ready to be presented to the community, is we're going to have an opportunity to make that next step of a smarter budget book that will have a lot more meaningful information to citizens like you who want to understand more about what is in your county budget, and then how you can shape it, fine-tune it to make it better serve the community at large. If you don't understand what's in it, that's not giving you an opportunity for the kind of input and participation that you deserve. So that's what we're working for. The final piece of news is related to the Department of Corrections. The Wisconsin Department of Corrections, as you may remember, invited Portage County to participate in a pilot project to develop the future of community-based corrections. The jail, the lock them up and throw away the key mentality is something of the past, and that we need to look at different, more restorative solutions so that we can reduce the recidivism that is the revolving door at the jail. So many offenders are repeat offenders, and so we're not doing things right if we have these people continue to come back to jail time and time and time again, costing us all valuable dollars and diverting our attention away from other issues that we should be able to be attending to. So anyway, Wisconsin Department of Corrections said, come to Portage County. We've got a rich history in justice programs and the work we've done over the last decade here in the county to build valuable organizational structures like Justice Works, to develop certain programs like our Deferred Prosecution Program, programs that help us do a better job at dealing with offenders and diverting them and getting them back to a better path in their lives. So we're making good progress. You've heard a lot about it. In the month of January, we will be rolling this program out to our community, keeping you informed as we go along. It'll be a 3 to 5 year project, and it'll be evaluated every step of the way with both local and state folks evaluating it, and determining how to better design the program, again, fine-tune the program so that it can become the wave, hopefully anyway, of corrections here in the state of Wisconsin, and that we'll be able to teach other counties how we did it and what they'll need in order to provide this alternative in corrections for our future. So it's a very exciting time, and I really commend the staff here at the local level in partnership with the state leaders to be able to design this leading edge community-based corrections program. So that's it for news today, and I am really thrilled to turn my attention, get this binder off my lap for starters too, and turn my attention to Al Hawker, our Director of Information Technology in Portage County Government. Al, it's been about a year since you've been on staff, so happy anniversary by the time this show airs. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me today.
Yeah, you didn't come from this community. This wasn't your community before a year ago, and I hope you'll tell us a little bit about yourself and how Portage County is treating you as a new member of our community here.
Well, I came here about a year ago, as you mentioned, and I come from Michigan's Upper Peninsula, where I spent 20-some years in municipal government there in the IT field. My wife and I are here and enjoying Portage County and Stevens Point, enjoy the community, find the people very friendly and very welcoming.
And you just bought a house, so I'm glad that's all taken care of too.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, I have to just tell you straight up front, I just think you're doing a marvelous job. And I wanted to bring a visual aid along, but I did not bring it along, and I want to tell you what this visual aid would have been. When I go in your office, Al, you've got this big white board in your office like I do, and on your board, there is the weirdest looking language I have ever seen. It's got crosses and arrows and weird symbols, and it fills the whole board up. It's a map of our IT system and how you problem solve with your staff around IT. And if I could have brought that, it would have really made everybody smile as much as it makes me smile, because it just helps us remember what the world is you work in is an entirely different way to look at things.
Well, I have that picture on my smartphone, and I'll be happy to send it to you.
Yeah. But anyway, so you've got a staff of you've got 7 members
Yes.
that join you in the Office of Information Technology, and your office is located in the Annex building, kitty corner from the courthouse. Tell us about what you do in that office. What keeps you busy? Because I'm sure, and I know, you are very, very, very busy.
Well, we provide programming support. We have 3 programmers on staff, and we do a lot of our own programming for the systems that we use currently. So they're kept busy maintaining those programs that we currently have and adding enhancements as time allow. We have network and telephone communications between 9 facilities within the county. So that takes the time of our network administrator who manages that. We have myself, of course, and we also have a help desk person who assists with help desk and some of the operational functions of the office.
When we think about information technology, something that folks may not be thinking about is how diverse the integration of technology is into county government. So we're using technology to help the dispatchers take your 911 call and respond to those calls. We're using technology at our library when folks are going to look for jobs and using that as their job center. We're using technology in each of our offices. We've got over 600 employees. Not everyone has a computer at their desk, but many, many, many do. The vast majority do. You're helping us with our whole printing kinds of systems around our computers. We've got the web access, so our website, Portage County's website, www.co.portage.wi.us, is all managed through your department in concert with the other units. And you're helping us with our emergency communications when it comes to our phone systems and lots of other unique automations related to that. And the list goes on, not to mention all the servers and how you're protecting our information so that if there was a disaster, we don't lose all of our data by having a redundant system across different buildings and so on and so forth. I've learned so much over the last year, and just having you work here and having your staff teach us about it.
Well, as time goes on, organizations rely more and more on technology, and we're no different than others. So yeah, we help all departments with their technology needs, including the phones and cell phones. We do also have 2 technicians on staff who go out to the departments and assist if there's a problem. So we touch about everything there is in the county with respect to technology, and hope to assist the users with any issues that they have.
We're only scratching the surface on technology, I am sure. We also have some technologies that are obsolete that we're transitioning from. Let's just talk a little bit about the new wave right now. Let's go to the cloud first. Let's talk about virtual desktops. We've got capital projects going on related to the cloud. Many of us have heard that in the media. Just tell us in common, everyday language, what is the cloud and how does it work?
Well, the cloud, definition-wise, is on-demand access to a set of computers and their web services via the internet. And what that basically means is an organization like ours can access web services on a technology provider's servers, could be in this state, could be in this town, could be in another country. But they provide those services via the internet, and typically they sell those to several customers. They have large data centers that they can provide guarantee uptime of 99+%. So as with respect to what the county's been doing, we have been researching what types of those services we could possibly use for feature enhancements above what we have now, and also for cost-saving considerations. And what we've done for the upcoming fiscal year is we have identified the email service that we'd like to implement here at the county. And we feel that with the enhanced features of that product and the potential cost savings, that it's a good move for the county at this time.
So we're going to transition from an older program to a next generation program.
Yeah, and the cost savings involved can be, if in our current system, we have costs for hardware, storage, licensing, software support. In a cloud type situation, we're purchasing that service from an outside provider, and in the email system, we will only pay per email box that we use. So if we happen to use 300 email boxes this month, we pay for that. If it goes down to $275 next month, we only pay for the $275.
Oh, interesting.
So
yeah.
it's kind of an on-demand system. So you can add or subtract as needed.
One of the things, Al, I wanted to make sure that I mentioned to everybody else, when we talk about virtual desktop or the cloud, going to the cloud as county government is going to be in this new year, actually you've started some transitioning already around that. One of the things that means to me in my own office, at my own desk, just to make it easier for folks who aren't so techno-savvy like myself to understand, is that I'll only have a monitor and a keyboard and a mouse on my desk, and I won't have the CPU in my office because I'll be linked to a network rather than have my own, I guess, hardware, that kind of hardware in my office, right? Yes,
in a virtual desktop, that's true. There's no necessity for a desktop computer or a laptop at your location. What it also provides is it provides secure connection from outside the building. So if a lot of our staff members might feel the need to work at home at some time, they'll be able to connect securely into the system and get what appears to be their desktop, just like they were sitting in the office at home. All of their files and all of their services that they have in the office will be available at home or at any location as long as they have internet access. What's your guess as to how many computers, I know you have the real numbers, but what's your guess here on the spot of how many computers are there in Portage County government right now? What'd you guess? Probably approximately 500. Okay, so if you transition from the old world to the new cloud, right now we would have to license, say if it was a certain kind of software, you might have to license nearly all those computers for, say,
Microsoft Word or something like that, versus in the cloud we'll have less license fees to take care of, right?
Well, that's true. You're pay as you go, so you only pay for the ones that you need. So there's still a fee for that,
Okay.
and so, but typically you only pay, since you're only paying for what you need, it's less than if you buy a group of licenses. There's the upkeep and the maintenance that you have to pay for that. In the cloud, that one fee they take care of the servers, they take care of the software. If there are any issues, you call them and they deal with them, and it helps relieve our staff. It lets our staff focus on probably some more important issues that are out there, and be able to assist the users at the county in better ways.
And interesting too, one of the things you taught me was related to licensing, and then we'll move off the cloud, but I just think this is so interesting and a lot of folks would be interested in it. When you have, like right now in the county with our 500 computers, you have several different versions of various kinds of programs, and it's evolved over time. For those of us that work in computers, you might have, you know, Word 98 or Word whatever. Okay, and so now when you need to upgrade, you can basically think about it as almost turning a switch, and you've upgraded them all at once through the cloud, versus now you'd have to go to each computer and deal with them all separately. Is that not right?
That's correct.
So I think that's important for folks to know.
You know, whatever version that you're purchasing from the provider, you can standardize across, and everybody will have the same version.
Let's talk about a different IT advancement in county government, ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning Software. It's taken me a long time to get that acronym down. And as we're going to roll this subject out, this is a new project that Portage County is really going to be involved in for the whole 2013 year in just planning for it. It isn't even getting the software going or anything else yet. It's doing all the pre-planning, and it happens to come through a capital project of over $100,000. We're talking about such sophisticated systems that are interacting with so many other functions in county government. It's a really big deal to map out how we will use this new integrated technology. But on my lap right now I have the Portage County operational audit of our procurement function. This was an audit that was an internal audit that was done by Baker Tilly in Portage County in 2012. And one of the recommendations out of this internal audit is related to upgrading our integration of software, really getting to the new world of technology for Portage County government, that it would have a lot of positive impacts on us. Talk about ERP. And we had 28 total recommendations in this audit.
28 deficiencies that were identified, and the report also reported that 13 of those could be supported or resolved through the use of enhanced technology. One of the recommendations was to either rewrite, enhance our existing financial software, or to purchase a system from a third party, which would be the ERP system that we're discussing. And due to the age and limited functionality of what we're currently using, we've decided to look at ERP systems and determine how that would best fit the county. And just in case someone's not familiar with ERP, typically what's the core function of ERP is your financial applications. So the general ledger, accounts payable, purchasing, budgeting, and also typically in there are the human resource functions.
Right. Right now we're doing a lot of things manually. For example, for our budget book, if we needed to come up with certain data that we put in that budget book, we have to do it on Excel spreadsheets. This is an automation that will do it for us, and that's huge.
This will certainly enhance the reporting functionality of our system, because that's where we're lacking right now.
In our analytics, right now, we don't have a way that we can produce the kinds of reports that can help us analyze various kinds of functions. The other thing that this ERP will do for us, this new integrated resource planning software, is, and again, you can correct me because I'm so excited you all have taught me about this stuff, is it's going to help us build in internal controls into our IT system. So for example, if you need a signature of the county executive for a certain purchase, that it won't even process the paperwork through if it didn't already come through my office and have my, checkpoint on the computer system. Fascinating stuff.
Yes, this will help us identify what the workflow should be, and you can build work rules into the system so that that, as you mentioned, if it requires a signature, the person's notified, could be via email, they're notified that there's a document waiting for their approval. There's other benefits other than the ones identified in the audit report of an ERP system. One of those, because of the workflow automation, there's increased user productivity. We're not spending time doing manual work that the
Yes.
machine can do for itself, for
Bring
us.
it on.
And that also means less duplicity of data. Data is entered once and it flows through the system. And once it's entered, you're able to extract it. It's a real-time processing. You extract it or alter it immediately. And it's not just for city staff, or county staff, but it's also for the public. The public will be able to get better reporting from staff, from questions that they may have about the financial condition of the county. Also in the purchasing department, for bids and RFP, solicitation, those can be done over the internet. Those can be done through a web portal, and we can advertise and get to more people, and perhaps do better in the bidding process.
And make it more accessible to everybody.
Yes.
Hey, as we take a look here, we've got a couple minutes left in the show. Let's talk about how we protect information and data in the county. We have a lot of information that shouldn't be in everybody else's hands, as far as like Social Security numbers, for example, over at Health and Human Services. How do we protect our information, and what are the other safeguards around data?
With respect to emails, we have email encryption. And actually the email encryption system will scan the emails. If it views anything that it believes would be something like a Social Security number, it will automatically secure that, encrypt it, and secure it before it sends it. Internally, our applications and our network are all protected with security systems, so the proper login credentials have to be supplied before you can get in access and view any of that type information.
I know that we've got a lot of improvements on our horizon for other access to information by the public, and our website is, well, we know that there are many things that we want to improve about our website, our county's website. So, I mean, your staff's already thinking through and working on those things. And
we're looking for enhancements in the area, particularly of content management. We'd like to be able to allow the departments to manage the content on the pages. That way the information gets to the public quicker. Currently, our system's not set up that way, and the IT department is managing the content and putting the content on the pages. So we're looking forward to doing that in the first quarter of 2013.
Excellent, excellent. And so viewers can look forward to some major improvements as time rolls on here. I have to say that we have put a lot on your plate, and I so appreciate what you and your staff do. I've had a chance to really learn a lot more about IT during the transition with your position, as we've hired you only a year ago. And I don't have anything but big dreams for where we'll be able to go with a more enhanced IT system, a more updated and integrated system across all of our units. Now, everybody always wonders, from IT gurus like yourself, we've got about 30 seconds or so left, what's the most catastrophic technology moment you ever went through? Let's see, just for fun.
Well, all of my catastrophic technology moments typically are server failure or loss of data. And they usually, as years have gone by and redundant systems have been built in, the catastrophic issues have faded away.
Thank heaven. We don't want any of those around here.
But early on, they were stay awake 3 or 4 days until things were working properly.
Wow. Well, listen, again, Al, thank you so much, and I'm glad that I had a chance to help everybody understand more about the IT function here in Portage County. There'll be a lot more news on this as we go forward. Next month, Brian Kelly, our Highway Commissioner, is the guest on Portage County Matters. I'll look forward to seeing you then and talking about snow plows and road construction, all sorts of fun things. Thanks.